All right, guys, let's make some jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. So we're in Illustrator, and I believe I'm on Workspace Essentials Classic. So my first step to make a pumpkin is I need to grab a shape to make kind of the basic shape for a pumpkin. And I'm just going to grab circle and I'm going to drag and just make like an oval shape. Sweet. Now I'm going to click on this. I'm going to hold down Alt, which gives me the little copy arrows. And I'm going to click and drag and place a copy just to the side of it. And this is kind of showing how wide my pumpkin will be. I'm going to click and drag over both of these so they're both selected. I'm going to go to Object, Blend, Blend Options. And I want to click Specified Steps, and I'm going to say 3. And what that's going to do is make 3 circles in between. Now you notice it didn't do anything because I do need to go back to Object, Blend, and actually make it, because all we did was just set the settings. We need to actually click Make to make it happen. There you go. It happened. So this is kind of a beginning size for my pumpkin, but we do want to grab the whole thing and go Object, Expand. What that does is it separates all the shapes. Click OK, and then right-click, Ungroup. Sweet. Problem is this looks like a fat caterpillar, not really a pumpkin shape yet. Because usually pumpkins are round, right? So that means the outer sides are going to be a little smaller. So I'm going to click the 2 circles on the outside, and I'm holding down Shift and clicking both of them. And then we're going to make them smaller by holding down our Alt key and our Shift key and clicking and just dragging to shrink them a bit. And I might even click my down arrow just to move them down a bit. Yeah, there you go. That's way more pumpkin shape. Cool. So now, obviously, this is a black pumpkin, but we want it to be like orange. So I'm going to click, drag. We got all our pumpkin shape selected. Double click on my foreground color, and I'm going to choose just like a orange color, like that, and click OK. Cool. So this is the general shape of our pumpkin, but I'm going to show you guys how to like add depth, which is this shading, so that it actually looks kind of like your pumpkin's 3D. So let's do that. So we're going to grab our whole pumpkin shape. And then, hold on, I got to hide my little, there you go. Hide my controls. Okay. So I've selected the whole pumpkin shape. I'm going to go to our effect panel. I'm going to go to Stylize, and I'm going to go to Inner Glow. So that's Effect, Stylize, Inner Glow. And what you want is it's set to overlay with a color black. And we want the opacity to be pretty high. I put this at 95. Blur is kind of small. The blur shows, if you can see that, how far out that overlay is being applied. And I'm going to click OK. So we'll see it's added this little shading to our shapes, but right now it's like a fat carrot. That's what it looks like. Because these shapes need to be put in a different order. So this guy, the 2 outer ones need to be in the far back. So I'm going to click on him, right click, and go Arrange, Send to Back. And then I just need to grab this middle guy, right click on him, Arrange, bring him to front. Because ideally, this guy's in the front because he's the closest to you. The 2 middle or the 2 off to the side guys are like in the next layer, and then these guys are in the far back. So see, we've got now like a actually pretty standard pumpkin shape going on. Sweet. Now for this assignment, I want you to do stem and a little curly Q, which is like these little guys. So let's do that next. So for the stem, you are welcome to grab your pen tool and just click and kind of create some kind of stem shape. So like that. And I want to click the reverse over here on my swap and stroke, or my fill and stroke, because I want to fill it in. And then of course, this probably should be like green or brown. So I'm going to make it like a ugly green brown. There we go. Now, something we'll learn for this project, which you might find really helpful, is Effect, distort and transform our roughen tool. What this does is it just kind of makes stuff look a little rough, like in the name, because pumpkins aren't perfect, right? They're organic. Oh gosh, are they vegetables? I don't know. They're vegetables, I think. So they're not going to be perfect. So I'm going to click roughen, and that's too much. But the idea is this is going to kind of make this shape not perfect. So I'm going to pull this down to size 1, detail 1, I think, or 2. And I'm going to click smooth. And I'm going to click relative or absolute. I'll have to see. You know what? Maybe I don't want smooth. I think I want corner. I think corner is a little better. There you go. And you just play with it till you like what it looks like. Then click OK. But right now, you see there's like 2 blue lines. To get rid of those, just go Object Expand. Object Expand Appearance basically makes whatever shape you're looking at, it makes that the shape. So in general, I like to click this a lot. So once I do that, now, if I have my pen tool, I can go and I can change the stem as I want. And the stem looks more natural, I think. It looks more rough and like organic, like a pumpkin stem actually would be. So I'm going to go ahead and put it where I want it. Right click, arrange, send to back. So it kind of pops behind my pumpkin. Lovely. And I can also click on it and go effect, stylize, inner glow, and give it that same little shadow effect that we put on the pumpkin, and click OK. So see, now the stem has like a little kind of shadow around the edges, depth thing going on. All right, next, little curly Q, like vine thingy. And this you can do as many as you want. You can have fun with it. And it's pretty straightforward. We need to start with no fill, but we want a stroke. So I'm just using this green stroke. I'm gonna grab my pen tool and I'm just gonna click a straight line. I'm gonna create a straight line by just clicking once on my artboard and then clicking somewhere else again, and then hitting escape. There we go. So I got this little line. It's really thin though. So I want to use over here the width tool. You can also get it by hitting Shift W. And if I click this, I can go to a point, click and drag, and it actually makes part of the line thicker. So I like to do that because usually when you have these vines on like growing things, the vines are thinner out towards the end, right? So we want to taper that. Obviously right now it's just like a sharp point. We don't want that. So to make it twisty, we're going to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Zigzag. Zigzag or twist, you can do either one. Zigzag makes it really, really like curly. I like it. So we're going to put smooth. We want it to be smooth. And oops, I think I actually forgot to click it. There we go. Effect, stylize, or no, distort and transform, zigzag. There we go. Smooth. And I can just mess with this until I like what it looks like. Yeah. So that's pretty nice. Then I just click OK. And again, we've told it to do something, but you'll see the blue lines aren't outlining my squiggle, and I want them to. So I'm going to go Object, Expand Appearance to kind of set my squiggle as the shape. And now I can click on this, and I'm going to grab this eyedropper tool, and this eyedropper tool selects a color that I've used somewhere else on my canvas. And I'm going to click on my stem. Come on, baby. Listen to me right now. L. That's okay. What I'll do is I'll grab both of these and I'll just recolor them a new green. There you go. Oh, and actually this stem and this are the same color. I just have not applied the inner glow shadow to my curly Q here yet. So let me do that. So I'm going to go Effect, Stylize, Inner Glow, and I'm going to make this like 0.05 so that I can actually see it a little more. There you go. If I click OK and zoom in, see, you can see that way more now. So you guys can play with the settings here. You don't have to do it the way I do, but I do expect everyone's pumpkins to have shading to make them look realistic. Okay, I might actually adjust the stem now that I say it. So that brings me to a good point. Let's say you do something and you're like, hey, I don't like how that shading looked, or I want to adjust it. If you click on your shape, go to Window, Properties. Here, this is everything that's been applied to that shape. And here you'll see it's the inner glow. I can click on it and it will let me edit that effect. So I can make this, I might change this to 0.1. Click OK. And see that's reduced that effect a bit. So again, if you need to edit an effect, click on your shape and go to Window Properties if it's not already up. If it's up, it should be over here and you can affect it. Or sorry, change it. Okay. So finally, let's make the actual jack-o'-lantern face. So for this, use your pen tool, use your shape tool, make whatever eye and face you want. I'm going to make, actually, what am I doing? I can just make one circle and then copy it. I'm going to make one eye for the jack-o'-lantern. I'm going to hold down Alt to make a copy and drag it over. And then I'm going to actually make another big circle that I'm going to use for the mouth, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Here, let's drag this down so I can show you guys. So I have this. I'm going to hold down Alt and make another copy and move it up a little bit so that below it, it's kind of creating a crescent. So I have these two shapes on top of each other. If I click and drag over both of them, you'll see over here is something called the Pathfinder. If you can't find it, go to your Windows and find the Pathfinder tool. Pathfinder allows me to basically cookie cutter certain shapes when they're lying on top of each other. I want to click the second button here. This minuses this front circle from the back circle. So let me click that. Boom. I just created a little crescent happy face. Okay. So here's the beginning of it. But I'm not done because this is not a jack-o'-lantern. This is like a smiley face. Jack-o'-lanterns are ugly, right? They're cut weird. They're like very rarely perfect. So let's make this imperfect. We're going to do that by selecting the eyes and the smiley face and going to Effect, Distort, Transform, Roughen. Because roughen makes things look creepy and rough. So we're going to use it to really make an ugly jack-o'-lantern face that looks cut and gross. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna click OK. And then again, Object, Expand Appearance. Sweet. So now I can grab this and I'm going to right click group it because I want them all to move together. So then when I click on just one shape and move it, they all go with him. So let's put them over here. Okay. So our last step is to change this to a yellow color, or a color you would think would be the inside of the pumpkin. So let's go like a bright yellow. And now we need to add the glow, which we're going to do the same way we added the shadow to the pumpkin and the stems. You're just, instead of going inner glow, you're going to go outer glow. Let's go Effect, Stylize, Outer Glow. And here you want to set it to overlay. You can do overlay or screen. I like overlay because I think screens sometimes is a little too harsh. And then I'm going to make sure that this is like a white or a yellow, something bright like that. Click OK, and then click OK. And there we see we're given like this wee bit of a glow. And I might even edit that. Maybe I will try screen. Let's see if screen looks better. There you go. Okay, screen looks a little better there. So there I have my first pumpkin. So for this assignment, you're going to make 3 pumpkins at least. So for my next pumpkin, I don't necessarily need to use a circle, or if I do, I don't want each pumpkin to look the exact same. So this next pumpkin, maybe its starting shape, I'm going to go ahead and apply a roughen beforehand just to make it a little wonky. So I'm going to click smooth and click OK. So see, it's imperfect right now. I'm going to click it and go expand appearance. And maybe I turn it to the side because all pumpkins are different. Up here, you can see This first one, I kept it very smooth with a normal circle, but then these next three ones, I morphed the beginning shape, and that's how I was able to get a different pumpkin shape. And these ones I think look a little more natural than this one. So experiment, mess with our distort and transform panel and our stylized panel, and let's create at least 3 pumpkins.